Hi everyone, again. So this video I wanted to talk about Tealight candle magic and share some things that I do with Tealight candles. When I'm doing spell work, ooh, that's not good. When I do spell, I bet you that'll be my thumbprint picture on my video, me pulling a face. Anyway, so when I do spell work, I predominantly use Tealights because they're cheap, they come in a range of different colours, and they are basically a portable spell all unto themselves. And I'm all about doing things cheaply and easily, things that work, having a powerful practice but keeping it kind of simple. I don't kind of go in for the whole elaborate, you know, thing, spending a lot of money and lots of fancy stuff. I like to keep it pretty simple and pretty you know, pretty low key. So I've been using Tealights in magical workings for quite a while now, and originally it came out of necessity because I struggled to get lots of coloured small candles. I don't like having to do a spell and having to sit there for 6 hours while a candle burns. I use these candles for spells that I would burn the candle just for a certain amount of time. Like I'm going to be doing a video soon on spell boxes and using candle magic as well as using the spell box, and so these candles are good for that because I can burn the candle for a certain amount of time until the candle's finished and hence the spell's finished. But I wouldn't use this to cast a protection spell, like if this was black, because I only use black for protection, because it's too big and I want it done quickly. I don't want to have to be monitoring a candle. If I have to leave, like if I cast a spell and I have to leave the house, then I will let my candle finish burning outside, and so this is not really any good for that because the candle's going to go out. So that's another reason why I like Tealights. But I do use these, but they'll be for candles, sorry, for spells that you know, I might want to have it going for a week type thing. I don't buy those 7-day jar candles because you can't get them here, so that takes care of that. Well, I shouldn't say you can't get them here. One of the metaphysical shops here in my city do sell a very small range of them, and they're mostly Christian ones. I've got like Mary and Jesus and stuff on them, which is no good for me. But they're quite expensive, and yeah, I don't know, they just don't really do much for me, so I've never had one. I used to use a fresh candle all the time, like if I was doing maintenance protection work, like if I was doing a maintenance house protection, you know, work that you do, you know, every month on a dark moon. Well, you know, I do. And I used to use a fresh candle all the time for that, and I used to buy these ones. These are these little Chime candles. I've got 2 boxes that Renee, a friend of mine from Canada, sent me, and I've used a few of those. But this is the only one that I've got left that I've actually brought, you know, myself. These are $1.50 each, and I think that's an absolute rip-off. But I would go to the witchy shop and I would buy a couple of black ones and a couple of white ones to kind of see me through a month, and I would use one for each different working, and it was getting expensive. So I'm opting out of using these now, and instead of using a fresh candle all the time for my general maintenance, you know, spell work that I do, I'm opting for buying big pillars like this. This was $8, so it was a reasonable price, but this will last me, honestly, this will last me ages. The thing that I like about using these is that I can anoint it with my oil, I can engrave it with my symbols, you know, pertaining to me and whatnot. I can sit it on a candle holder and put certain herbs around it, and I can burn it for a certain amount of time, probably 13 minutes. I use 13 a lot in my practice, and I use 3 like a lot of witches, but 3 is actually my magical number. I might do another video on that, or do a video on that at some stage, but it definitely is like a number that everything of importance that happens in my life, everything's got a 3 in it. So anyway, this will last me for ages and ages and ages, and just for my general maintenance protection work, it's absolutely brilliant, and I'm not spending, you know, X amount of dollars every month on buying separate candles. And having to go out and get them, and I mean it's nice doing witchy shopping, but to be perfectly honest, it gets a bit of a drag. I find it a bit of a drag sometimes having to go out and buy supplies and things like that. So that's one thing that I'm doing. This is a candle that I actually decorated myself. If you want to see a tutorial on this, then I will do one at some stage. But you could look this up yourself on YouTube. It's just like stamped candles using wax paper and tissue paper and things like that. But this is my cleansing candle. It's a little stampy flower on the back. I was just trying it out. I just wanted to see if I could do it, and it worked out pretty good with my sort of crappy supplies. But this is my home cleansing candle. So when I do a cleansing, I will light this. I will combine it with smudging and probably some music as well, and go through the house and do a cleansing every new moon, keep the energies pure and fresh and clean and whatnot. And I would used to go through multiple white candles every month, and like I said, it's getting expensive, so I just brought one big pillar. This was pretty cheap from the warehouse, and this is my new cleansing candle. But anyway, tea lights. I love tea lights. Spell work, I use tea lights, and what I love about tea lights is that they are cheap, and you can generally get them in a myriad of different colours. So here, for example, I've got silver, red, yellow, purple, black. I didn't bring them all in. I've got blue and I've got green and whatnot. But failing that, be quiet. Failing that, white is always a good substitute. I mean, there's been times where I've had no money at all to buy any supplies. I've been completely out, and I've just used a white tea light candle to do a spell, and it's worked perfectly fine, because it's all about up here. But what I love about the tea lights is that they're basically a self-contained spell in themselves. So you get a tea light, and since we're using a black one for demonstration purposes, we will talk about doing a protection spell. So you get your tea light, you pull it out of its little holder, and in here you've got a neat little cavity that you can then fill with not a lot of stuff, because you want the candle to be able to sit, flat in here. You don't want it kind of, skewer or anything, because then it's not going to burn properly. But in here you could put a sigil on a piece of paper, draw a sigil and sit it in the bottom. That'll be fine. You could sprinkle some herbs in here, a herbal blend that you've made, or just one herb that you associate with protection. My herb is black nightshade. It's my absolute have to have protection herb. I use it all the time in protection, so I would sprinkle a little bit of the dry leaf in here. Like I said, I like to keep things pretty simple. You could put in some stones, like I would probably add 3 tourmaline chips, or clear quartz, or whatever stone that you associate with protection. Don't put a big stone in here, obviously. You just want little chips, little wee ones. You can anoint the candle with your protection oil. There's so many different things that you can do. Just make sure you keep it small, because you want the candle to be able to fit back in here and sit flush. Then you can put the candle, back in. And you've then got a very powerful, very potent little spell all contained within this little candle, and that's fantastic, and it's cheap. So you could then, if you wanted to, you could then say you have a tree that you associate with protection, say it's oak. You could go and you could do your protection spell beneath an oak tree, because this is portable. It's going to be a little bit more difficult to do that kind of work with a great big candle like this. Not that this is a great big candle, but that's going to go out. So you could take your little candle, you could take a little glass, I haven't got one here, a little glass tea light holder, and have it sitting, or just a glass jar, and have it sitting in there so the wind's not going to take it out. And you build up layers for your spell. So you've got the energy of the tree, and you've got all the elements around you with nature, and you've got all your things pertaining to the spell all contained within here. And I don't know why people don't use tea lights more. A lot of people frown on using tea lights, I've discovered. They're like, And I don't like using tea lights. I just like using great big tailored taper candles, and you know, blah blah blah. It's like the bigger the candle, the better the spell. We all know how that works about size, don't we? It's not the size, it's how you use it sometimes. But anyway, yeah, I think this is great, and this is just my way of keeping it simple and keeping it cheap. So this is predominantly what I use, and I just wanted to share that because I'm sure other people do it as well. But for newbies, then hey, this is great, and you can get really creative with your spells and what you put in the bottom of these little containers as well. So you know, you could you know, grab silver candles for moon magic, honouring the moon, things like that. If you're on an extremely tight budget and all you can afford is a pack of white 10-pack Tealight candles, then you can put glitter on to incorporate a little bit of colour magic, so different types of glitter. I mean, you guys in America, you're so lucky with how cheap things are over there. You know, you've got the Dollar Tree and you've got Walmart. Now, we've got cheap shops here as well, but way cheaper in America. And there's so many different things that you can do with these little tea lights, and they're a great addition to have in your spell working supplies. I think so anyway. You know, that's not to say that I don't use big taper candles and things like that. You know, my altar candle on my altar is a big black dinner candle. My illuminator candles on my altar are black. My Goddess and God candles are coloured. I'm actually using up some supplies that I've had for a long time. So once I've used up my coloured candles, I'll probably just have plain white candles on my altar to represent the deities. And I'll just anoint the candles with their separate oils or their symbols and things like that, and I just, yeah. I'm not getting out of the whole colour magic thing, but I'm kind of just, I'm incorporating other things with my candle working that don't involve having to source masses and masses and masses of coloured candles. Because even though tea lights are pretty easy to come across and they're cheap, sometimes you want a specific colour and you can't get it. So yeah, I am kind of thinking, you know, white's just, you know, white and black, they can be used for pretty much everything as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, anyway, so I just wanted to share that little tip with you guys, and like I said, I have a video coming up soonish, not today, but soonish, on spell boxes and how I use spell boxes and things. And I think that was everything that I wanted to discuss. Yeah, I think it was. Okay, well, I shall go and see you in the next one. Bye!